So tell me how we go from there to what's your first venture and Model Works.
Well, the first venture is a company called Model World, which
Model
is
World, sorry,
basically,
why did
yeah,
I say my
that's all
bad?
right. So
Yeah.
it nearly was Model Works, but I actually confided in a friend of mine. Again, even though he's done what I'm going to tell you he did, I'm still a friend with him. I actually saw him last week. He came over for a cup of coffee and we chat about things. But I gave him all my ideas, and this was the guy I was working for part time in the model shop. And I was giving him all these ideas, telling him why this location's great. This is what I'm going to do. There's definitely a market, and I'm learning from you at the moment. I'm going to transfer that and run my own model shop. And he did it. He did it before I had the chance. But it's a good lesson to learn, because I wasn't ready to start, because I didn't have the backing, I didn't have the credit score to get the loans that I needed. So it was one of those things. I didn't have everything in place to be able to do it.
But wait, let's talk about this then. So, I think this is a good point, because there's this concept of sharing your ideas with people.
Yeah.
People do it online. You know,
Yeah.
people express what they. How do you feel about that now after your experience? How do you feel about sharing your?
I think you're a little bit more caged about ideas until you've got it signed, sealed, and delivered. You know, you don't really say too much about it. And with experience, it's easier to do that, isn't it? You know, when you're young and everything's great and everyone's great and he's giving me a job, he's great, and you don't expect that. And the fact that someone opens exactly the business in exactly the spot that you were going to open and calls it the same name. I mean, the name Model World came from a BBC television series when I was a kid. I still have they used to do albums for all these programs. I still have the album, Model World BBC program. So I know that
I
was
saw
my
it in the
name
video,
for it.
yeah.
It's always going to be the name. And he took the idea.
How old were you at this point?
I was probably 19, just turned 19.
As a
And
19-year-old, what is your mental state? Because for me, that is beef. Like me, like I don't
Yeah.
know, like I'm burning down your shop or something.
Yeah, to me, it nearly knocked me down. It did knock the wind out of me, but I didn't want to give up what I was doing, because everything I was doing was working. It was still related to his shop, so I still worked for him part time, and that was a good move. I could have just gone, you know what, that's it. But I didn't. I knuckled down. I worked really hard with him and doing all the other things I did. And I think it was about 8 months later, he said, you know what, I've had enough of that shop down at Maytown. It's not doing very well. I'm going to sell it, get rid of it, close it down. I went, well, what do you want for it? And he told me a price. I said, I'll buy it. There and then, the minute he said. And I'm glad I did, because he probably would have changed his mind had I left it another day. But the fact I said, no, I'll buy it. And then I just had to put everything in motion to be able to buy that business. And the reason it didn't work is because he didn't have the passion for Model World. He had the passion for the business he was doing, pretty much, but not for that. And it was a different thing. It's a totally different animal. And he put a manager in there, and it wasn't going to work from day one, really.
I think that's two important lessons in that. The fact that, I mean, sometimes we let our emotions get ahead of our logic, but you logically looked at it and was like, okay, this is a setback, but logically I can still leverage the position I'm in.
Yes.
And then the second lesson is that opportunity. The opportunity came, and you was just like, so how much did he say he was going to sell it for?
I can't give you that information.
Okay, that's fine. That's totally fine.
The only thing, I mean, I talk open finance.
Yeah, that's fine.
But what I don't talk about is actual personal.
Yeah.
So, but it was a figure that was more than I could scrape together. Should we put it that way?
Yeah.
And I had to go to the bank and borrow. And the first bank turned me down. Absolutely blank turned me down.
What did you go into the bank with? I want to know.
Well, I had to make up a business plan. I mean, how'd you do that?
Yeah,
you've got to make a business plan. You think, well, I know what I want to do. It's all up here. No, you've got to put it down on paper. So we put it all on paper and did projections and everything. And to be honest, I don't think he looked at them. He looked at me and went, "Yeah, you're a youngster. You ain't got a chance. There's no way we're lending you any money." But as fate would have it, rather than moping out, I went out thinking, I am a bit deflated, but, worse things have happened. Walked along the street and there was Barclays Bank, literally next door. I turned the corner, literally next door. And I said, I'm going to go in there and pretend I've got a meeting with someone and just see what I can do. And I blagged the meeting there and then. He said, well, have you got a business plan? Well, as it happens, put all the business plan down. He read it. A guy called Mr. May, he's not there anymore. And he saw, again, something in me. And he said, you know what, I'm all about helping youngsters that come in and they're prepared to put their life on the line to start a business that they know.
Yeah.
And he said, not only that, we're going to sort the money out for you, and I'm going to be your first customer.
Wow.
How about that?
I need to figure this out because normally when I'm tracing people's stories, I'm able to find a link with how they're able to like because your mentality was just so like you can't is defiant. Do you get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Was there kind of like inspiration, entrepreneurial inspiration, other than your friend that was like who walks into a bank then walks into the next one and says, okay, I'm gonna just. Can you think back
don't know,
now?
but
Do you know why you did that?
I'm not sure. I think everyone has. Well, maybe they don't have the same feelings. Maybe some feel rejection worse. I'm not sure, but I think we all feel the rejection or the put down. But some of us can go, nah, put that at one side. Let's go on again. You know, he didn't see something I know that's there. Let's go and show it to someone else. And I think that's sometimes the way. It's just a different direction to look at things.
Have you always, looking back through your life and now, have you always been like that? Been able to put, because I think it's important to be able to put your emotion aside and just move with your logic and self-belief. Like, if there was anything that kind of was the catalyst for that, it'd be great to know. Or
well, I think it's all about, you know, you're going to have some failings along the way. If you don't fail, you haven't tried. I mean, that's absolute law without a doubt. But the thing with failing is learn a lesson from it and then move on.
Keep it moving,
Put it in the past. That's gone. What can you do about that? Nothing. You can learn from it, but you can't do anything else about it. So that's what I've always tried to practice. Learn from the mistakes, then dump it, and then move on.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
So now you've moved past your mistakes of telling someone else your business. They've taken it. Model World officially opens.
Yeah.
So tell me, what was the first day like? Because this must have been a dream come true, right?
Well, it is and it isn't. You know, you arrive on the first day, and the problem with opening a shop is obviously you've got costs straight away.
Overheads,
it's not like building a little business and gradually building it up to those overheads. You've got them from day one. I arrived in my car on the first day. I put my sleeping bag on the back seat, literally, because if I couldn't take some money that day, I was sleeping in that car because I didn't have enough money to put any more petrol
to
in.
get back, yeah.
I put everything into this, you know, absolutely everything was on the line. But as it turned out, we had a fabulous day, and I was there on that day with the guy that sold it to me because he was stock taking and everything.
Yeah.
And he went, "Blimey, you've had a good day." And I went, yeah, that's obviously a flash in the pan, isn't it? He went, yeah, definitely. And to this day, in a shop, we have never taken less than that day. Not one day. Seriously. You know, and that's amazing, really. You know, because you think, well, I always think with a shop, people have to make the decision to come to it, have to travel,
how do you
you know,
it, like?
and how, you know, one day, someone might not decide to come to your shop. So there should be a day where you do nothing. But we've never ever done that. Every single day we have opened, we've always taken more than that first day, and that was a good day.
Oh,
how about that?
That's amazing. How did you promote it then to get people to come?
Well, there was all sorts of promotion. I mean, obviously the fact that I've been doing lots of helicopter lessons, working in another shop, you know, of course I happen to mention that I'm going to be at a different place very, very soon. And of course, that's why you keep all that stuff going, isn't it?
The network, yes.
All the networks, all the connections. And then a lot of people wanted to come to us because, you know, I was very much into the, radio control helicopters, and they knew that. So they wanted me to do their machine, me to sell them the machine.
Yes.
Well, that was the thing, yeah. And then I went into competing with model helicopters, sort of in the UK to start with, and then around the world. And of course, you get a name for that. And
so you was a bit of a celebrity then?
Yeah,
in that world,
you know, I always wish that TikTok and Facebook and all those sort of things were available then, because the following from Japan, for example, was absolutely huge. And of course, that sort of disappears a little bit. The business connections stay, but lots of little bits disappear. Yeah,
because people grow up and they're connected. Relations.
And back then, it was great. You know, we could have had such a following and just kept it flowing along.
So you were technically running a business, but you were also the biggest endorsement for your business because
pretty much
you had the skills. So when you're talking about flying around the world, so you was competing?
Yeah, with the British team. I was on the British team for 10 years. 7 times national champion.
Shit, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Bronze medal at Europeans and a bronze medal at World Championships. So it's
serious?
Yeah, we've done a bit.
Oh, right, so you've paid your dues, man.
Yeah,
so this is okay. So this is no. So I'm understanding now. First of all, the success of Model World is not an accidental success because you've built the foundation. You spent years becoming an expert, building the network. But on top of it as well, you're an athlete essentially. You know what I mean? You compete, not
exactly.
Yeah. So you kind of apply that athlete mentality to everything you do, like build, work hard, and I'm sure. I've never seen a competition, but I'm sure it's quite high, quite intense, right?
Oh,
a lot of pressure to deal with.
Yeah. Very hard. In fact, the World Championships that we came, I got bronze medal at. That was during the 9/11 disaster.
Seriously?
Yeah.